What is up, everyone? It is your girl China aka China One, and welcome to my cast. So today we're going to be seeing what are their first impressions of you versus how they see you now. Okay, and this is a pick a card, so of course you got to pick a card. So group one is a last quarter moon in Scorpio. Reveal what needs to be seen. Okay, group two is full moon in Libra. Find a balance. And group three is full moon in Leo. Go wild. Okay, so once you pick your card, you're going to go down to the description and find your group. It is under group 1, 2, or 3, but it will also be in the info cards right up here. And while you're in the description, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe so you can start to see my face every single day. But maybe that's a bit much. With that being said, it's time to get read. What is up, my group 2s? If you all chose full moon in Libra, find a balance. Then congratulations, you have found your group, and we're just going to get right into their first impressions of you versus how they see you now. So as far as their first impressions with full moon in Libra, you might be you might be a Libra or have Libra placements. But as far as find a balance goes, you are somebody who's very hard to get a read on. As far as first impressions goes, when people see you, they're not too sure if you're somebody that's meant to be taken very seriously or, meant to be kind of like, yeah, whatever you say, like that kind of thing with that. Okay, and then first impressions, we have the moon. Okay, so first of all, they think that you are very, very pretty, very, very beautiful. You might have like really pretty eyes, or they might be very huge or very long lashes. But they also were like, hey, what do you think about? Like, what's going on in that brain of yours? It's something about the way you look that kind of makes people think like you're not thinking about anything in the world. Like, there's nothing going on in that head of yours, is it? And that's probably really insulting, but that's just how they think. But also, besides it being like they don't think you think about anything, it's also, how do I say it? It's also kind of a like, what does somebody that looks like you think about? This person thought that they were like, well, you were way out of their league. And so they're like, what does somebody like you think about? What does somebody like you even do that looks like you? What do y'all look like? I'm curious. And then we have death here. You're somebody that, another reason why they're like, oh, what do you think about, is because you are someone who suffers in silence, and you don't wear your struggles on your person. You don't wear it on your physical appearance. You're somebody who takes very, very good care of yourself. But you also might wear, as far as physical appearance goes, you do look good. You don't look like you're struggling, but you might wear your emotions as far as like in makeup or dyeing your hair or piercings or tattoos. So when they first saw you, they're like, what's your story? Like, what is with the makeup, or what's with those piercings, or what does that tattoo mean? That kind of thing. And then we have the 8 of Voices here. So a lot of these things are more first impression as far as them just looking at you. So when they actually got the chance to talk to you, they realized you're much more intense than they would have thought. But also that you are a huge dreamer, and your visions are something that normal people cannot see. So the things that you dream for your life and want for your life are things that like normal people can't imagine. They can't fathom. So for you, it's like definitely tunnel vision. It's like, this is it. Like, you can describe it in such huge detail, and other people still won't get it. But if you're thinking about a person in particular, their first impression was that you're very impressive. Like, they found you to be very impressive. They found you very intriguing. They wanted to know more and more. So even if what you want to do in life or your plans were not something they were really interested in as far as like the topic itself, they still wanted to just hear you talk to know how you think, because they found that very intriguing. And then we have first quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. And this is also the vibe I get from the Eight of Voices, as far as you just being able to speak what you want into the world and go after it in full force. Like, you're not somebody that will hold back just because it seems impossible. You're like, nothing is impossible. If I'm thinking of it, I'm sure it's not impossible. You know what I mean? And then as far as how they see you now, we have the Three of Inspiration. So you're somebody that has plans laid out, and some of them are ridiculous and some of them are more, doable. But either way, you will try all of them. It's for you, there's no like, oh, I'm scared to make a mistake. It's more like, I'm gonna make a mistake either way, so I might as well learn from it and see which path is the most fun or the most fulfilling. Like, you're not just after your achievement, you're after the journey along the way as well. And this person admires you a lot about that, because it's not the same as, if any of you know about tarot, the Fool card is way more whimsical. It's way more about just jumping in and being spontaneous and not thinking about it too much. But this is not, you're not the same as the Fool. You, like I said, you have plans. You have plans laid out, but you are very go with the flow in a way. You're like, hey, it's all part of the journey. It's all a part of life. Like, I'm living, I'm not just surviving. How sweet is that? And so this person does worry about you sometimes, because they do think of you as being they think of you as being a bit naive. But like I said, they do still admire you because they know you make out these plans. But they think it's also ridiculous to go forward with a plan that you also know is equally ridiculous. But you're like, hey, it's part of the journey. Like, why not? Why not do it? I know I'm gonna get to my achievement eventually. Why not just enjoy it? Like, what's the worst that could happen? And then we have the Knight of Inspiration here. Contrary to their first impressions of you, they see you now as somebody who just can let go and be so free, and also is just very accepting of people from all walks of life. Their first impression of you was that you're more closed off. And also, I didn't get it with the Eight of Voices at first, but that's how I'm getting that they saw you as far as their first impression. They thought you would be more closed-minded. They thought you would be more like of the spoiled type, not having seen many people or many different types of people or experienced different types of grief. But that is not true, which is why now they see you as somebody who's just so free. They might also like try to frequently introduce people to you that are like very closed off, that are scared to be vulnerable, because you're somebody who's just so accepting. And you're not somebody who will poke at something that clearly people don't want to talk about. But it's an intuitive thing. It's not like you're just avoiding the subject just to avoid it. You're just somebody who knows when it's time to talk about something versus when it's time to have fun, versus when it's time to like relax and let go. So yeah, you might have done this for this person very frequently, as far as knowing when they're going through a hard time and being like, hey, come outside, it's on me, come out to eat, it's on me. And then we have the Eight of Emotions in reverse here. You all are very good at making your losses look like wins. So when this person talks to you and they're like, how did it go? And you're like the way, like what you're saying is like, oh, it went horrible. But how you're saying it is, oh, I did great. I learned a lot from it. Yeah. But this person, like I said, they worry deeply for you because they feel like you're just too precious for this world. And then we have this big circle again, kind of like in the moon here, where it's like it has to be your eyes. Like there's something just very like something that just pulls you in about your eyes. You might have larger pupils, or the color of them just might be very striking. And for some of you, it's the deep brown eyes, because a lot of you don't know, like, it's something about your eyes. So that makes me think it's something that to you is regular. So like I have brown eyes, so to you, you're like, oh, so many people have brown eyes. But no, there's something about yours that are just very piercing, that not piercing in a way that makes you feel unseen, but piercing in a way that makes you feel like they can't look away from you. Like they just can't help it, you know? Stare off into space about you. And then we have the full moon in Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. Here we go again with this bright moon here. Yeah, but that's what I was saying. You all are kind of like, you're not fearless. You just have a way about, you know, beating back your anxiety, because you're like, if you let your anxiety rule you, you would never live. You would never do anything. You just stay in the house. So you're that person that other people come to as well, especially this person, whoever it is that you thought about for this reading. They will come to you whenever they're feeling very scared or nervous about doing something new or about a new step they're about to take. And you're like, hey, you know, it's okay to be scared, but you got to do it. You got to do it, because you being scared will really lead to nothing. But if you do this could lead to a whole bunch of things. This could put you in your next reality. Like, you know, like this is an important step for you. And also you are the type that doesn't, even though you can plan far into the future, you're not somebody that gets stuck in the future. You're not, you know, you'll plan your future and then you'll come back to the now and be like, you know, I'm so excited to take that step. But as far as what I'm about to do right now, I'm going to take a nap. Like, you're not somebody that stays in that analysis paralysis as far as like, oh, like the future. I don't know if y'all watch SpongeBob, but that part of Squidward when he was like, future, it's probably gonna be right here. Probably. But let's look at the bottom of the deck. And we have the Two of Inspiration here. And we have the Two of Voices. This person, I don't know, whoever you thought about, y'all are probably extremely close, because like I said, they just worry for you so deeply. And despite how close you all are now, similar to how when y'all first met, how they couldn't necessarily see your vision, they still really can't, or they still really can't imagine things how you imagine them. But it's like they just trust you and admire you so much that they really try to. Like, they really try to, but you often have them confused as far as the things you want and the things that you go through, because they might often ask you, like, why would you want that? Or like, why would you intentionally go through that? Or why would you choose this path when there's like this obvious easier path this way? And you're like, huh, you wouldn't understand. Like, it has to be that way. And sometimes you don't even really understand why it has to be that way, but you're also the type that follows your heart. Because you're like, you know, I might as well experience all of it. And as far as fear, it's also like, you know how there's, what is that called? It's like rejection exposure or something, where you ask someone something or do something that will, to intentionally get rejected, to get used to being rejected so you don't feel such fear around it. You kind of do like fear exposure so that you are not afraid of fear. Like, you're not so crippled by fear anymore. And that sends this person like up the wall. They're terrified. And then we have new moon in Scorpio, go deeper. And we have new moon in Libra, know you are loved. Oh, how sweet. But either way, this person thinks of you as somebody who they think of you like a puppy, like you just wouldn't hurt a fly, you know what I mean? Like they think of you as somebody who can just do no wrong. But with the new moon and Scorpio go deeper, they also see you as somebody who, like, you definitely should not try. Like they're like, you know, they might tell other people even, like, you don't want to be on group two's bad side. Like, you don't want to see that side. Especially with Find a Balance. It's like I said, you're somebody who you might not show it on the outside. And of course, you're just as sweet outside as you are inside. But of course, like anybody, you have a limit. So, but in conclusion, first impressions, very sweet, very beautiful, something very like something about your eyes that's just very piercing. They're very beautiful. Also about your appearance, tattoos, piercings, different hair color, makeup, even clothes as well, your style of dress, and just that you are not afraid to talk about your dreams wholeheartedly, no matter who believes it or who can see it or not. How they see you now, you plan things out, but you still sometimes go the hard way because you're like, why not? Why not? This is my life. I can do what I want. But yeah, and you're sweet as can be, and you're very accepting. Is that it? Yeah. But I think that's all that I have for you today at my group twos. If you're going to pick another group, I will see you there. If not, like if you want to, comment if you want to, subscribe if you want to, maybe even share. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.